For Lucifer and his celestial sidekicks, rules are made to be broken. But if you think the same is true for Tom Ellis and his co-stars, we're about to prove you wrong. We'll see why the cast had to say goodbye to lazy days on the couch, hear why wearing birthday suits are compulsory, and learn what happened when Tom took home a memento from the set.
Well, I wish I could have taken Lucifer's car, but that wasn't happening.
These are the crazy rules that the Lucifer cast must follow. The first one might not be that surprising, considering all the eye candy. Don't be a couch potato. For a few cast members, chilling on the couch became a thing of the past when they signed their paperwork. This is especially true for Tom Ellis. In fact, he must work out. It's written into his contract. But not just now and then. 2 hours per day, 6 days a week. Yeah, looking like the handsome devil involves a grueling fitness routine.
A man is working hard. Made in November. He's not smiling as much as I am right now.
Before filming began on each season, the famous Hollywood trainer, Paolo Masiti, put Ellis through an intense boot camp.
#DevilTraining.
Luckily, Ellis enjoys a challenge and actually set a few fitness goals for himself. Like when he made a bet with his daughters he'd get a six-pack before his 40th birthday. It's clear as daylight that he smashed that goal. But when it came to saying goodbye to his favorite snacks, it was a different story. According to Masidi, getting Tom's diet in check was the hardest part. You see, Ellis had to give up his favorite guilty treats, like beer.
And I had to turn down bread. I had to turn down chips. And I just had steak and broccoli.
Luckily, he had a little help on the set.
All right, guys, so Madison is in charge of our food. And what do you make, Tom, for those guns?
Peanut butter smoothies. We got egg white protein, lots of peanut butter, banana, almond milk, and ice.
So, there you have the secret to devil training. Plain old hard work and sacrifice have never looked so good. Of course, Tom wasn't the only one who had to get shredded in the line of duty. To portray the warrior angel, Amenadiel realistically, DB Woodside had to hit the gym more than he preferred, but he did it for the team. And let's be honest, a tough cop is just more convincing with some muscles. That's why Kevin Alejandro also did his part. He even worked out during his lunch breaks. But this hard work was crucial if the actors were to survive all the fight scenes. Which brings us to rule number 2. Do channel your inner Bruce Lee. Yes, getting physical is part of the job. The fight scenes are hectic, and if the cast isn't fit and prepared, they might get seriously injured. So what's the secret? Practice, practice, and practice.
3, 2, 1, action.
If you wake these actors up in the middle of the night, they'd all probably be ready to throw a punch. But there's no doubt about one thing. Lesley-Ann Brandt might be the most prepared of them all. Playing Hell's former head torturer and the devil's right-hand woman seems to suit her just fine. Her biggest pleasure is doing her own fight scenes with no help from stunt doubles. She's always been an athlete and takes great pride in being true to her character. Ahead of season 5, the actress had only one wish: more epic fight scenes for Maze. And she got her wish, which meant she had to bring her A game. When this actress knows a fight scene is coming up, she revs up her cardio and lowers body strength the week before. The reason? Lesley-Ann is always required to fight in heels. Sometimes it takes up to 7 hours just to perfect one single scene. But for Brandt, going to bed with bumps and bruises is a sign of a day well spent. And she's so committed to Maze that she was back at work and fighting a month and a half after giving birth. But is there another strict rule that babies aren't allowed on the set? Not in this case, and Brandt could breastfeed in her trailer between shots. Now that's what we call badass. But few rules were as tough as the next one. Don't change your style. Netflix is pretty serious about the cast not being allowed to change their appearance. If they don't stick to this rule, they can get in big trouble. Can you imagine not being allowed to change anything for nearly 7 years? And remember, this rule means no new hairstyles, no tattoos or piercings, not even a suntan, be it real or from a bottle. If Tom wanted to shave or grow a beard, he'd have to ask production for permission. It might seem a little over the top, but the reason for this rule is to ensure the stars keep looking like their characters. If Detective Decker suddenly rocked a tattoo of a rose behind her ear or a different hair color, it would ruin it a bit, won't it? So, it makes sense that the actors had to sign a clause that they wouldn't make any major changes to their appearance. Well, unless you're Ellis or Alejandro and you wanted to get more buffed. That would totally be okay. But this rule gets even more interesting because something else is banned on the set of Lucifer. It's any form of makeup, apart from Tom's devil eyeliner, but that's courtesy of the makeup team. Thank you very much. There just isn't time to waste on removing makeup in the early mornings. But while facial blemishes are not concealed on the set of Lucifer, there's something else that's top secret. And this brings us to rule number 4. Never spill a set secret, or drop a spoiler, or be involved in any scandal. If you do, you could be fired on the spot. This also means no bad-mouthing, either fellow colleagues or your former employer. That's why you'll never hear anyone criticizing their previous network, Fox, for not believing in the show enough to renew it after season 3. The no spoiler rule also explains why the cast always sounds like they're walking on eggshells in interviews.
Well, I mean, there was another element added to the mix this season. And I don't want to go too much into it because we're not doing spoilers anymore.
Oh wait, I'm probably not allowed to mention that, huh?
This rule of secrecy has more than one facet. Naturally, the first part is not leaking any plot secrets, and that's a standard part of all Netflix job contracts. That's why the streaming network has strict password protection in place to prevent any leaks from the cast or crew. Everyone gets a unique, complicated password. Also, Netflix tracks everything. Who has access to which scripts? Who was in the room while filming a scene? No detail is overlooked. In the case that something is leaked, you can bet on it. The guilty party will be found. Part of set security involves another challenge for the cast. No phones are allowed on the set. If they need one for some reason, the phone must be switched off during filming. No one really wants some scene to be recorded and leaked, whether it be by accident or not. Also, hackers are a real concern, even if the cast's phones have tight password security. The other part of this rule relates to scandals, in the sense that the cast is not allowed to be involved in any, even if it's personal. We all know how damaging scandal can be to a person's reputation. Well, the same is true for a show like Lucifer, and even association with personal scandals can damage ratings. Tom Ellis almost found himself in a spot of trouble when he broke this rule around the start of filming season 1. His real-life divorce from his ex could have damaged his prospects of playing Lucifer, but thank his heavenly father, it didn't. Speaking of scandal, does this mean the Lucifer producers and Netflix are dull and dry? Learn the answer in the next rule. Go Commando when the job calls for it. After Netflix scooped up the show and brought it back to life, things changed, and few fans are complaining. That's because, apart from being tight-lipped, tight touches are now allowed on the screen. You see, Fox is a television network, and this means it wouldn't be appropriate to show Tom's neat derriere to viewers. But since Netflix is a streaming service, they don't have the same limitations. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why from season 4 onwards, Ellis had to be okay to appear in his birthday suit. Thankfully, it didn't bother him too much, and the world's been a better place ever since. Along with more scenes with nudity, swearing, and dirtier jokes are also allowed on Netflix. Obviously, never gratuitous, and always hilarious.
Biggest cock I've ever seen.
We're looking forward to more innuendo in the 6th and final season. Yes, sadly, all devilish things must come to an end. And since season 6 has arrived, we'll end off with the toughest rule of them all. No wonder Tom Ellis has difficulties with this one. Don't take Lucifer's car home. It's no secret that Ellis fell in love with his character's wheels. So it's no wonder his biggest wish is to take the car home as a memento. But not even his British charm helped him on this one.
I wish I could have taken Lucifer's car, but that wasn't happening.
You'll be glad to hear that the cast is allowed to take some things home to remember the show by, just not the car. And even though it's a rule not to reveal your cast members' secrets, Lauren German got away with it.
If you can imagine that cavemen had a sex toy, that's basically what Tom took from set. To describe it now so many times, but it is a fake ivory tusk that has carvings into it, like very ancient looking carvings, but it really is this very phallic caveman sex toy. Caveman sex toy.
Have you spotted this prop in any episodes? If you have, let us know in the comments. If not, maybe we should be on the lookout for it. And you don't have to wait long. Yes, Lucifer Season 6 just dropped on Netflix worldwide, but we're sure you'll still want to see more about the Lucifer gang. So check out our other video about the cast's painful makeup and costume transformations. Until next time, don't do anything Lucifer wouldn't do, and just be awesome.